Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about some of the miracle stories that are happening right here in our own city, in our own state, every day. My name is Tony Kausha, and the title of our show is Tony's 50,000 Coincidence Miracles. Please note, this show is not about religion, and we're not trying to change anyone's religion, and we're not trying to get you to join any religion. It's just about miracle stories. I don't know of any religion on the planet that doesn't talk about miracles. That's why religions begin, because they have something that's telling them there's really a God. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to just talk about miracles and leave the decisions about all that up to you. So we don't care what religion you are. We just want to talk about miracles. If you are an atheist, I think you'll enjoy the program as well, although I can't guarantee you'll remain an atheist very long after you hear many convincing stories, coincidence kinds of stories about miracles. You can email me your own stories if you wish. We'll try to use all we can on the show. I can't guarantee we will, depending on volume and time, but you're welcome to send your stories on to us, and we will mention them when we can. You can send them to the following email address. But please notice that if we do use your story, we won't mention your name. We'll keep you anonymous. And we suggest that in your story, when you send it to us, don't use your correct name. That way anyone listening will not be able to figure out that it was you that sent the story in. The email address you can send your stories to is very easy to remember. It consists of 2 words and 3 numbers. The first word is Tony, spelled Tony, and the second word is and, spelled A-N-D, and the numbers are 777. So once again, the name is Tony and 777 at AOL.com. Well, let us begin. This is week number 60, and I'd like to start off today just a couple of brief reminders. In past recordings, I've discussed how important it is that we stay aware of God's presence with us all day. It's an absolute fact. If we are careful to notice, we do notice that God is always with us constantly. He's very quiet. He's respectful because he gave us free will. So we don't notice him because he's being very careful not to disturb us all day long and make us uncomfortable and spoil his free will gift, because if we're hypersensitive of his presence, we won't be living with free will. So he wants us to use our free will, have free will, and in that process to notice him and invite him into the things we are doing all day long. You see, so we're not imprisoned by his presence, but he wants us to want to have him present. So that's one reminder. And we do little things to help us remember this. And I have suggested many times in the past that before we get out of bed, if we could just always do something brief, very short, but before we get out of bed every day, that would protect us and bless our day. So I've suggested to people, and I've been doing it every day for years, create an acronym, a word that reminds you by the letters of the word things you want to remember. So let's say I don't use this word myself. I use a different word. I have different things I pray about every morning. But every morning before you get out of bed, you want to ask God, you want to pray to him before you even put your feet on the floor to help you with some things. So let's say you develop the word time, T-I-M-E, time, and that'll be the acronym. And then for each letter, you have something you ask God for. So you say, it's spelled time, so the first letter is T. And what you do is you ask God to give you enough time today to do all the things that must be done this day to help you not waste time, but have enough time, sufficient time to do all the things that he knows that he wants you to do and are good and best for you to do. So that's to use your time effectively, and you're asking God to help you with that. So now you've given him permission, and he will interrupt you during the day because you asked him to do that to help you protect against wasting time. Now the next letter is I, and I use the letter I every day, and I'll suggest to you what to use for I, but do what you want. But for the letter I, you can say, please inspire me and give me ideas throughout the day. Please interrupt my day. Interrupt me, God. I give you permission to interrupt me and give me inspirations of wisdom and give me ideas of wisdom so that I'm benefiting by your suggestions and your guidance throughout the day. So far you have two letters, T and I, out of the word time, and that's your acronym time. And the next letter is M, and it's an opportunity for you to say, for the letter M, think of your marriage and your children. Children come after the marriage, so the letter M can remind you of two things. M for marriage, matrimony, and your children. And so you can, on the M, ask God to bless you in ways that will enhance your marriage, bless you in ways, ideas, inspirations, attitudes, patience, respect, all of the things that would make you a good wife or a good husband, and to be a blessing in your marriage, and to please also help your spouse so that both of you will have a wonderful, truly blessed marriage, the marriage that God intended. So few people who are married ask God to bless their marriage. We get so very busy after we're married, after the honeymoon. We're also very busy, running around crazy, doing so many things, and we forget to ask God to help us improve our marriage, strengthen our marriage, make it the great blessing He intended. He created man and woman. He created the sacrament of marriage. It's necessary to have children. You need a man and a woman. So He created the whole process of marriage and a necessity for men and women to have each other. And so he has a plan for us to be very happily married. He didn't plan on us being married and hate each other and always argue with each other. That's not what He intended. So He intends for us to be happily married, good friends. Your best friend should be your spouse. So the letter M will help you to ask Him for that blessing, and He will do that because you asked Him to help. And then the last letter is Z in the word time, T-I-M-E. And for the letter E, you can certainly use anything you want for all of the letters, but a good idea for the letter E is to ask for ears that will pay attention to what He wants you to hear throughout the day. The psychiatrists write books about we only partially listen to people. Most of our problems as humans are we're answering without listening carefully. We assume what people mean. We don't really listen to them. We don't give enough people time, or we don't give people enough time to tell us what they want to tell us. So when they're asking us for help or telling us what their troubles are, we jump to conclusions. We don't really give our full ear and full consciousness to listen. We're only half listening half the time. So you ask God to help you have ears that'll hear. This will bless you with your children and your marriage and your boss. You'll start making your boss happier because you're doing exactly what he wants instead of only listening to half. And you'll be hearing your employees. If you supervise people, you'll understand what they're really asking about. So, again, before you get out of bed, before you put your feet on the floor, if you have some kind of an acronym like the word time or whatever word you want to create, and then for each letter, you ask God to do something for you. You pray for those things. Every letter is something you're praying for. And so we talked about here T for time, I for inspiration and ideas, M for matrimony, your family, your wife, your spouse, your marriage, E for having ears that will listen. So I hope that helps you, because I've been doing this for many years, and many of my friends also do it. And it absolutely is important, because you've given God permission now to barge in on your day, take away some of your free will during the day. You've just given Him permission, and to help you with these things. And your life will become more blessed, and you'll notice many more coincidence miracles, I can assure you. Our first coincidence miracle today is I had my acronym. I said my prayer. I asked God to interrupt me during the day and give me wisdom. And I put my feet on the floor. And when I stood up, I asked God, what should I focus on today, Lord? Give me a keynote of what I should focus on mainly for today. And He inspired me. Turn the radio on. It's almost time for the news. So I turned the radio on. And it was a couple of minutes before the news, and there was a record playing on there called "You Are the Wind Beneath My Wings." And many of you will know that in the Bible we talk about how God is the wind beneath our wings. like an eagle soars and an eagle flies, but the eagle needs to have the support of the wind and the air, because of the eagle's force and power and being fast and heavy-weighted, he needs to rely on the wind beneath his wings. And there's many stories about eagles and how they use the wind to train their young. They kind of knock them off a cliff and then fly after them to catch them. So they even use the wind to teach their young. So I was blessed in that moment. I just asked God what to do. He gives me a keynote. He inspired me to understand that I should follow his words and his messages and his inspirations during the day. That's what he was telling me in my mind. And then next thing he said was turn the radio on because it's close to the news time. Incidentally, this happens to me many, many times. I'm inspired by God often when it's close to the news time, put the radio on, and I often hear a spiritual message by the records that are playing, and I'm sure you're hearing that from me week by week already. Our next coincidence miracle has to do with that wonderful and famous movie, It's a Wonderful Life, with Donna Reed and Jimmy Stewart. Most people have seen that several times. Well, this is kind of a funny story. Around Christmas time 2 years ago, I recorded It's a Wonderful Life. It was Christmas time. I saw it on television, so I recorded it so I could watch it whenever I wanted. And as the months went by, I was into June and July, and I was laughing about the fact that it was always there and saved, and I would watch it, probably this upcoming Christmas. And so it was there. And then one day, when I was in the Christmas season now, the second Christmas season, I still hadn't watched it yet. But I went in one night, and it was, I think we were in the week before Christmas or the week of Christmas, and I went in and I said, oh my gosh, what did I do? And I had accidentally deleted it. So here it was being saved for a whole year, and I just noticed that I accidentally deleted it. And I felt kind of bad because I loved the movie, and I was just too busy to give it attention and watch it, and that's why I've been storing it and saving it. And now I thought, oh golly, I was looking forward to seeing it, and now I won't be able to see it. And here we are on Christmas week. So I got inspired by Jesus to, go into the current listings of movies right now that are on and pick another one to save in its stead. You lost that one, but pick another good one to save it. And probably that's why this all happened. I'm thinking, well, maybe God wanted me to record a different movie. So I started pushing the buttons to see what I should record. And lo and behold, the next button I pushed, it wound up on a channel that was offering, the movie was playing at that precise moment. At the moment that I was looking for a movie to record, it was 9 p.m., and maybe it was a minute before 9, but I noticed that at 9 p.m. the movie was being shown again. So I was able to push record right there on the spot, and what's so beautiful about this is, I was talking to God about what to do. I felt bad I had accidentally deleted it. I was concerned I wouldn't be able to watch it for this Christmas as I was looking forward to doing. I had saved it for a whole year. And God inspires me to, record the space you've got left there with another movie. And when I go to look, the first button I pushed, I paged down. And when I paged down, the selection landed right on the movie. It was like, it was like the clicker was doing it all by itself because I just paged down and wind up on the right movie. So another evidence of before you get out of bed in the morning, say the prayer, ask God to give you inspirations and ideas, and then during the day these kinds of things happen. He inspires you to record a movie precisely and exactly on time. Okay, I hope you'll all have an acronym, and every day before you get out of bed and put your feet on the ground, you say a prayer for God and ask Him to help you. God bless you all, and I will talk to you next week.